Today's game is, well, we generally don't know because it depends what game is on, so we'll just have to wait and see.
With the weather being bad, it was impossible to tell what game would be on. No club seemed to be giving any definite decision by the time it was time to go, so I started heading out just as I got to the bus to head to Chester. Still no trains with the landslide at Gaboin. I got a message saying that the Wrexham game at Port Vale was off, so I decided to head towards Chester and see what the situation was when I got there. While I was on the bus, I added some games to my games been to list. On arriving in Chester, I went to the town crier and had a drink and assessed the situation. Looking at FC United, they seemed quite hopeful the game would be on, so I decided to head towards Manchester.
I know it's difficult to hear, but again, my pet hate of people not using headphones on trains. I did actually tweet Transport for Wales, but that didn't seem to help. You've got to try and make a joke of these things, but no response from Transport for Wales. They don't seem to see the funny side of it. On arriving in Manchester, I saw this tweet of FC United, so I decided it was best now to head towards the ground. I don't particularly need it for this route, as I have done it many times, but Google Maps live route is really good when you're on the bus and you don't know what bus stop to get off. In fact, with all the windows steamed up, it does help you to see your bus stop definitely, but it is good for people with bad eyesight. I got off the bus just down from the ground and had a drink in the Bluebell in Moston. Whilst I was in the pub yesterday, I noticed my eyes were really bothering me, particularly this one I took a photo of. As you can see, it's quite red and sore and irritated. I get this quite often, just wear and tear on my eyes. It makes me want to just sit with my eyes closed for a bit, but you can't really do that. You look like you're asleep, especially when you're in the pub. You probably get chucked out. This photo also shows well one of my eye conditions, which is aniridia. This is the missing iris, the coloured part of your eye, which I do not have. This means light comes into my eye without any sort of filter, if you will. So I have not got any way of filtering the light into my eye, so it means that any sort of brightness can be very painful and blinding to me. The other significant condition I have is nystagmus. This means I have no control over my eyes and they continue to move on their own accord, more like wobble really is the word, which makes focus very difficult for me. This is why I strain my eyes continually, and obviously they get sore very quickly. Whilst I'm talking about my eyesight, I thought it would be good to add about the things I have with me to help with going to football and other sporting events as well. First of all, obviously got to mention my glasses, which are Reactolite and have a little bit of magnification, but they can't really give me eyesight that I've never had, so they only magnify what I've lost over the years, like any person would do normally. Obviously I just lose it quicker because I strain my eyes more, but they also are Reactolite, which are the best thing ever really for me, really, because that has been a great help to filter light into my eyes. It really does help with the pain that light can cause. I also always take 2 radios with me to matches as try to listen to the commentary. The reason I take 2 radios is I have one which is an AM and an FM. analog radio, which is great, and I also have a digital radio as well. This is because sometimes the games are on digital stations rather than analog stations. Also, you'll find some places, some venues that you go to, you struggle to get a digital signal or an analog signal, and swapping around the two radios is helpful. Most digital radios also have an FM channel, but I've never found a digital radio which has an AM as well as an FM. A lot of football games are obviously on the medium wave sports channels, so you really have to carry two radios with you. It would be handy if someone would invent a digital radio with an AM and an FM analog in as well. Then I'd only have to carry one around. But if anybody does, I want the patent for that one. As it was definitely my idea first. The other thing I always take with me is these binocular glasses, which look a bit strange. They even look stranger when you have them on your face, but they are absolutely fantastic. They are called fishing glasses. I have no idea about fishing, nor have I any idea how they would be helpful towards fishing. Maybe someone in the comments could tell me what the reason is they're good for fishing, because I'm not really sure how they would help you. Anyway, they're great for me, especially when I'm at the cricket. They're really useful. Also, they're useful to see boards and stuff in train stations and bus stations and what have you. They put them up so high and they're so small and really difficult to see. I normally take a picture with my phone and enlarge the picture, but I can also use these as well if I've run out of battery on my phone or anything, although I am renowned for having more than one power pack on me, so I never really seem to run out of battery, but it's good to have them for an emergency situation like that as well. They look a bit stupid, so I don't tend to wear them all the time. Probably at football and that, I think I just receive a lot of stick, to be honest with you, for wearing them. But also, football, it's better to see the whole pitch. Rugby's the same and stuff like that. So when you put those on, obviously you're looking through a pair of binoculars, and as I'm sure you know, that kind of restricts your vision to a very small area. So that really kind of sort of stops where you can see the whole thing. So I prefer not to use them for those situations, but they are great for cricket and stuff like that, and I say handy for seeing boards and menu boards and timetable boards if you're in a restaurant or you're in like a takeaway or whatever, or train station, bus station and so forth. All three items are also very interesting to explain away whilst getting searched outside a football ground. You get some very funny looks, mind you. Pork pie in my pocket gets even more funny looks, so I'm used to it right now. Well, we're on the subject of eyesight. Do you remember the other day I sent an email to Manchester Storm regarding audio description of their games? Well, they did get back to me. They did say it was something they are working on, but have no resolution to at the moment. They did not offer me any future free video streams, and they didn't offer to refund me for the one that I'd paid for the last game as well. So it doesn't look I'm going to get much in the way of that way of refund, unfortunately, but it was worth a try. The game we are intending to go to here at FC United is good. They do offer their own radio commentary, so although it is digital, it is a little bit behind. Watching it is better than nothing, and for a club at their level, that is extremely good. While I was in the pub waiting to see if the game would go ahead, I did put some stuff on eBay and Vinted. I've actually received some money today from the sales of stuff that I put on, so that can take off this can reduce the price of this particular trip. So with an hour to kick off, it looks like we are going to get a game in, and it's going to be FC United versus Warrington Rylands. heading now back into Manchester on the bus. I had a bit of time to kill before the train, so I went to the Piccadilly Tavern for a drink. I got blackcurrant and water. Like I said, I was going to do this, try and reduce the price. Fantastic in here, they actually gave it me for free. I added some more stuff to eBay and Vinted while I was waiting. When I got back to Chester it was late, so no more buses or trains to Wrexham. I had to get a taxi home. Normally it cost me about £21, but for some reason this evening it is 27, so that's not helped with the budget for tonight. So that's it for this trip. Obviously, as I said, the taxi was a bit expensive, added to the day's large part of the spends really, but apart from that, the rest of it was quite cheap. A couple of pounds on the buses and a couple of pound on the train as well, so that wasn't too bad. Also, you'll notice I've got a season ticket at FC United. Now, I don't use it very often, very true, but I like the pay what you can afford scheme that they do, and I want to support that. I also would get a disabled season ticket with them as well, so that cuts the cost of that. I probably still spend more than the games I actually attend, but I think it's worth it because I do want to support that scheme. I did receive £16 off eBay for items I've sold that I sell from unwanted things in the house to try and reduce the costs of the trips. I received £16 off eBay, so that cut the cost of this trip.